Hello everybody. Sorry I couldn't be with you today. Today is the day that I have my eye surgery. So we want to take up where we left off yesterday with transformations of slope of the parent function. So I'm going to do one together and then Mrs. Martin will pause and you all can do the next one together. So let's look at number 1 on the guided practice. All right, number 1, graph and write the equation of the new function after the parent function is transformed as described. Now we're talking about slope transformations, so we are talking about changing the number in front of x. A transformation is just a change. And so they've asked us for 5 times as steep. So to graph it, I always start at my origin. So there's my first point of my new line. And now my slope, let me write slope, is 5 over 1. We need the undercover 1. So I'm going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I need to go to the right 1. And so I end up right here at the point 1, 5. So now I have 2 points. I'm ready to connect them with my ruler, make a straight line with arrows on each end. And so there's my graph. My new equation is g of x equals 5x. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now Ms. Martin will pause the video and you all can complete number 2 together on your own. Excuse me, I meant do it on your own and then check it. All right, number 3. Let's go to number 3. We have the parent function, f of x equals x, and we are doing a graph and we are writing the equation. All right, I don't know how you want to do this. There are 2 ways to do it. You do not necessarily have to graph your parent. So I want to try this one without graphing the parent first and see how you like it. All right, it says we are 1/3 less steep. So we are talking about a flatter line, easier for someone like me to climb up. And so my slope, I know my slope is 1/3. So that's up 1, right 3, correct? All right. Now, I am going to plot my first point, which is the origin, 0, 0. All right. We start with our first point, which is the origin, 0, 0. And now I know I need to go up 1 hop up, right 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to end up at the point 3, 1, and I am ready to draw my line. So if you know to start at the origin, you don't necessarily have to have that parent function in there. Now, if you would prefer to have the parent function, I'm going to come in and put it in there as if we had had it in the whole time. But for me, I almost like it better without the parent function. So I'm going to make the parent function black. And we know it goes corner to corner and through the origin. So, and we're going to make it dashed lines, corner to corner through the origin. So there's our good old parent, y equals x. All right, so now let's go back to our equation. We are talking about the slope, so y equals ax. The slope is 1/3. So g of x equals 1/3 x. No big deal. All right, now Mrs. Martin's going to pause and let you all work on number 4. Now I'm going to move to number 5. Super easy for this one. Let f of x equals x. and g of x equals 2x, complete the statement to compare the graph of g of x to the graph of f of x. The graph of g of x is steeper or less steep from the graph of f of x. Well, I'm talking about my slope. Let's see. We used orange yesterday. We used orange for when the slope was getting steeper. 2 is bigger than the number 1, so I know this is a steeper slope. So once again, Ms. Martin will pause, and you all can complete number 6. Let's look at number 7 together. Number 7. Let me get it in the screen. All right, number 7. Let f of x equals x, that's your parent. The graph of g of x is shown. So they are asking you for slope. Now we're going to learn in a few minutes what they both are together. So they want us to say the slope of g of x is, pick one of these, 3 more than, 3 less than, 3 times, or 1/3 the slope of f of x. Now they're not using the word steep in here, but you are supposed to know that they mean steepness. And we do already know that 3 more than means the y-intercept. 3 less than means the y-intercept. So A and B are not remotely the correct answers. So now let's look at the slope of g of x. I always start with my origin. I'm going to do 1 hop up, and I'm going to go to the right. 1, 2, 3. 3 hops. My rise is 1. My run is 3. So my answer to question 7 is D, 1/3. And if you recall what we talked about at the beginning of slope, we're talking about steeper or flatter. So I know 3 times is going to be steeper. 1/3 is going to be flatter, or maybe the word less steep. One of those 2 words. Okay, now Ms. Martin will pause and go to number 8. All right, lastly, number 9. Number 9. This is where we have to plot 2 points and connect the line. Once on TestNav, once we get to TestNav, which will not be until April, we have to connect the 2 points ourselves. So plot 2 points to create a line that represents g of x. The graph of g of x is twice as steep. So that means my slope equals 2. Twice means 2. So I know I need to give that an undercover 1. So I'm going to rise 2, right 1. Always start at the origin. There's my first ordered pair, my first point. Rise 2, right 1. And there's my second point. I have 2 points. I need 2 points to draw a line. I'm going to grab my ruler, and I'm going to connect those. There's my g of x graph. All right, so 2 ordered pairs. All right, thank you guys for listening. Good luck with number 10, and I will be right back with a video on combining slope and shifts on the same graph.